Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am Ross Morasso. My guest today, Lauren Stinnett, Chief Organizing Officer at Order in Your Court, based out of Dallas, Texas, but traveling anywhere in the United States to come and meet you. And Lauren specializes in organizing your home, your work, and even your life. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Exactly. Thank you, Ross. Thanks for having us. Good to see you again.
Sure. Now, I do want to mention right away that people can find you at orderinyourcourt.com. So as we get into our new year here, packed full of resolutions and all of that, what are you seeing from people that are contacting you, or what's a good focus for us to have in a new year?
In the new year, everybody says in all sorts of ways in our life, new year, new me, new life. So with our existing clients, we tend to do a lot of refresh in the new year. Where we come in and where we've organized existing spaces, and we'll help refresh those spaces because they've gotten maybe a little unmaintained or out of control through the holidays or since we've last been there. We'll start new spaces with existing clients, and then with new clients as well, we'll start new spaces. We're also taking down a lot of holiday decorations. A lot of people got through the holidays and now they're ready to put their house on the market, or, their house sold over the holidays, and now we need to pack and move them and unpack and organize in their new house. So that's kind of what we have going on right now. But a lot of those refresh and starting new, and the bigger focus is 2023. You don't want to hang on to a lot of stuff. So how can we start now to start slowly purging and decluttering your home, your office, your mind, to have a great rest of the 2023?
Now, when you say refresh, give us an example. I don't know if you want to pick a room or a closet or an office space. Like, if you're going to come in and refresh something, what does that look like? What should I expect you're going to do to me when you get here?
So for an office, for example, if we've done their supply closet or files, we'll go back to where we left off, see what's happened since we've been gone. Are people not upkeeping with ordering the supplies that's supposed to be, or are things not getting filed in the system that we created? Is there something wrong with that system we created? Why things aren't getting filed, or people just not doing it? So for an office environment, we can help get everyone back on track with those files. So filing all the paperwork that didn't get filed. Do we need to pull old documents, maybe from 7 years ago, that we're not using anymore, and get those shredded and move clean into the new year? The supplies. Who is supposed to be ordering these supplies? Is that person also responsible for filling and maintaining the organizing or the supply closet? Did it just go into shambles over the holidays because so many people were in there trying to find things in a quick? So we kind of go in there, kind of refresh. If there's any specific spaces within that area that aren't working, we'll find a better solution. As professional organizers, we pretty much know what's going to work and what's not going to work, but we're not in the space every single day. So if there's something that we created or built for a system and it's not working for that team or family or individual person, we'll recreate it so it works for them. Doesn't happen that often, but it does in some cases, and we're happy to fix that. So that's a lot of refreshing.
In the office environment, do you sometimes sit down with a group of people there to sort of have to get the lay of the land and do a powwow with everybody to figure out what it is that needs to be changed?
Yes. Depending kind of on what it is. If it's files that 20 people are touching, I want to touch base with them really quickly. Who's touching these files and what works for them and what doesn't? Why am I here? is the main reason. Obviously, it's not working for you guys. So, what can I do to better that? So, I'll touch base with them. If it's one or two people that touch the system, then I'll just talk with them. You know, talking with the boss is great because that person will have visions too. But if they're not daily hands on wherever that area is, then it's good to actually touch base with the people who use it daily.
Now, do you find for yourself, and maybe it's all over the place, but even though something like ordering supplies and creating a structure to make sure that they're being reordered and stuff, and now supplies are often physical things, but
Mm-hmm.
what do you see for structures versus like using digital mechanisms, like using technology versus pen and paper? Do you try to steer people in one direction or the other?
It's what works for them and their team. Um, some people don't are working from home and going more in the cloud and virtual and things like that, so we do have to have files accessible, both physical for maybe tax or legal reasons, but we also need to have them in space so everybody can access them when they're at home or on the road with clients. So yeah, we have to create systems that are up in the cloud, with whatever they're working through their process. Um, I don't steer either way. Some people are paper people. It's just what works for them. If they are downsizing in an office because 50% are working from home now,
Hmm.
then maybe they don't have as much space to store those paper items that they did in years past. So how can we adjust to that new environment? So maybe that is we have to scan and upload a lot more documents than we did in years past. So just depending on the space, everyone's so different. It's never an across the board answer. So yeah, it's really what works for the team or that individual person.
Do you have or have you found any pieces of gear or tech or software programs that you like or that a lot of people seem to be using that are effective?
Ooh, that's a hard one too. Usually in a professional business environment,
Yeah.
I that's really kind of business to business. Usually they already have some sort of software they're paying an arm and a leg for that we can utilize and that
Hmm.
will work, or they already have a cloud system. We just need to build that maze or mind and whatever within that system of what we're uploading, or putting out there. Um, personally, that personally, there's so many different cool tools. Do you need a calendar tool? Do you need grocery tracking tools? Do you need who picks up what kid and where tool? Um, there's so many different tools like that that have access that multiple people can see. There's tasks apps that you can use with a family or with business. So it just again really depends on if it's business or home personal
If I
and what you're trying to
recall, if I
accomplish.
recall, you started this now you've been an organizer for life, and I want to ask you about that in a little bit, but you started Order in Your Court in 2020, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, I did corporate event planning pretty much my whole career, all of my career, and but always wanted to have a professional organizing company. And COVID happened, and no more big events for a while. So it allowed me that opportunity to start my passion and dream company, and it's just taken off, and it's been wonderful. Get to help so many different types of people. It's
Yeah,
fun.
on one hand, starting a business in COVID seems to have been like that's a bad time to start a business. On the other hand,
Yeah.
your particular business, I think a lot of us were taking stock in our lives at that time. How did you find the trials and tribulations of getting a business going, as an entrepreneur right in the heat of the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. My husband's like, you should start that business now. And I was like, in the middle of a pandemic, and I was pregnant.
Mm.
And, there was so many cons, and it's scary to start a business. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've worked for large corporations my whole career. So I don't know what I was doing. So I reached out to people that I could trust and lean on and that have always supported my idea and my passion, and took it from there. My business ebbs and flows. You'll see, people want to get ready for the holidays and then it slows down. The new year goes up. Summertime, people don't want to do a ton because the kids are at home, they're out of school, kind of same with fall break and spring break. So you'll see kind of it ebbs and flows. That was really hard starting off, because I was like, why aren't we consistently busy all the time, every single day? But you learn your business. So there is always challenges still every day. I'm learning, I don't know what I need to do. Oh, the taxes have changed, the laws have changed. So I just really lean on people that are good at what they do and let them guide me. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. So I just lean on those people. And the internet is amazing. It has so many resources. And your friends and family, they know a lot that you probably didn't even realize. So just asking those questions, if they know someone, it's kind of your own personal LinkedIn, if you will.
With staying on with this theme here, you were talking about during the pandemic, a lot of it was created remote work, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
caused two things, one of them you mentioned, which was, offices now don't need as much space because they don't need the people, but they still got their pile of stuff. And then all of us have
Mm-hmm.
come home and now have to sort of find space to have a mini professional environment, right?
Exactly.
While still being in the same house or whatever. So do you work with getting people with remote work like set up in a special space at home?
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow evening, we're actually he's moving out of his office and moving into his home, and he doesn't have a designated office in his house. So we're kind of building this area. He has a large master bedroom. So we're building kind of this area out where we're going to create his own little office environment. And we've done that a lot. I've done refreshes for that too. It's like my laundry ends up on my desk and it's like, I don't want that. I want this to be my work. I want to be able to focus. So it is hard for some people, especially if they are, used to going into the same office for 25 years. So it's a big adjustment for a lot of people, is that some people have put two kids in one room and made one bedroom an office for both parents. So there's lots of different ideas people have added on to their house. They've built up, they've built out, all for more space because they're spending more time at home, especially working.
I have two sisters, and one of them couldn't wait to get back into the office, and the other one, who is more in an IT sort of
Mm-hmm.
situation, is at home, and she can't wait to forever not go back to the office. Now,
Yes.
for those of us though that don't have the resources to, put an addition on their house or move, you brought something up. I thought this is really interesting. So you can probably recognize potential in spaces that we all can't see. I mean, that's sort of why you exist, right? With your
Yeah.
work. So let's take this master bedroom component. It's a single space without walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're going to try to section it off for them to keep a space that becomes sacrosanct for work. So what does that look like? There are some examples in the past. I know every room is different and you probably have to get creative, which is why, we need people like you to figure it out. But when you're dealing with a space inside of a space that is not sectioned off by like full physical, unmovable structures like walls,
Uh-huh.
you know, how does that work to sort of put that together so that I could feel like when I sit over here, it's a different mindset than 7 feet over here. What do you do to get that set up? What's like a few opening steps to create that space?
Well, if you need that actual divider, but you don't want to put up a wall in your bedroom, very
Mm-hmm.
understandable and it's costly, get a folding wall. We do that a lot. There's so many different colors and textures. Don't face your computer towards your bed. So you wake up and you start working, you're like, that bed looks really nice. I just want to go get in it.
Good
Face
tip.
it, yeah, face it towards a different way. If there's a window in that room, we highly suggest facing towards a window so you can feel maybe some vitamin D or C, you want to go outside and not crawl back in bed. Those are really good tips. Kind of just positioning those items in the room, both for your bedroom and for your office, making sure everything has a home. So your laundry doesn't end up on your desk and on your work computer or your work phone and it's ringing and you can't find it because there's so much stuff on it. So making sure everything has a home is really, really key, and sharing a space. So if a husband is officing out of the bedroom and the wife comes in and doesn't really dawn on her that there's that's his office now, and she's setting her purse and things like that. You really have to respect those two different spaces and boundaries.
So much of us when we're working from home, or just remotely, wherever that might be, we get on Zoom, right? Something like
Mm-hmm.
that, or Microsoft Teams or whatever it is. And so we also have to deal with what's in the background. And I know when Zoom first came out in the pandemic, people took a exceptional delight in putting, action figures and weird stuff in the background. But what do you recommend though for dealing with the what's behind us stuff for that? Is that something that you've ever had to deal with? We're sort of creating our own little mini theater, right?
Yeah, no, we've done that a handful. We've done, staging and light decor in offices a lot. It's creating whatever that type of environment that you need. Do you want it to reflect your business behind you or the company you work for? Or do you want it to reflect you? Or maybe it's a combination of all three. Or maybe you kind of want to pull what your office looked like at in the office building home. So how are we going to do that? Do we need to add in shelving? Do we need couple of floating shelves? Do you want personal photos? Some people don't think about that. It's their home. So, yeah, I want personal photos, but then they're talking with strangers, maybe all across the world, and maybe they don't want their, son and daughter on the screen. I think having a clean and calm, not busy, distracting environment is key when you're for you, because you can see your background, and for your viewers. For me, I think it also kind of depends what you care about too. For me, I'm always moving. I'm always in someone's new space or different home. Today, I'm in someone's backyard. So it really just depends. I'm not a person that really cares what's going on in my background as like, oh, it has to be so perfect, because life is life and it's constantly changing. But you have to respect what's behind you for your viewers, and so you don't get distracted as well. It's a beautiful day here in Dallas, so I said, why not sit outside?
That's it's an interesting point. If we go 5 years ago, sure, Zoom probably existed, but now it's a household name, right? We could almost turn it into a
Yeah.
verb, like Googling something.
Yeah.
Do your clients anymore? And by the way, for those of us who have just tuned in, let me pause for a second. I am talking to Lauren Stinnett. She is the CEO or Chief Organizing Officer at
Mm-hmm.
Order in Your Court. And you can find her at orderinyourcourt.com. So we are talking today about getting your life organized, your office and home organized. And that is exactly what she is, a professional organizer. And so not only do we talk about the physics of things, but also some of the mentality behind it. So have you heard from your clients that there's as much of a concern anymore as to what's going on in the background? So for me, when I was first hopping on Zoom, right, it was all like, no, I can't show that or whatever, but like it was new. Now I wonder
Yeah.
if there seems to be more of an acceptance that, look, we're all people and like we don't even notice it anymore. And so do you still
Yeah.
find that your clients are really concerned about their whole studio presence, or is it just more about I need everything to be functional? That's all I care about.
The main thing is I need everything to be functional. I see different generations care about the older generations want everything to be perfect in the background. Maybe that younger generation is like, it's okay. We're people. If you call a lot of like 1-800 customer service numbers now, you will get a recording. Hey, our X team is working from home now. So please pardon any dogs are barking or kids giggling. Like, I mean, I see it on, I hear it on recordings. I see it on websites when we're calling people. So it's just kind of the new norm. And everybody, I don't know, I think COVID opened the eyes to everybody as a person. We're not these perfect robots that work in this perfect office every single day. We're real people.
So when you go into people's homes, are they ever apprehensive? Like, do you find that clients need some confidence in you that, no photos of the before pictures will be taken or whatever, like, have you ever
Yeah.
walked into houses and wondered, however, am I going to figure this out for people? Or is there always a solution?
There's always a solution. Most solutions, I say that lightly. Most solutions, there's not an overnight quick solution. Organizing your life, your work, your mind, your home, it's a process. Good
Mm.
things take time. Yes, 9 out of 10 of my clients are embarrassed to send me photos or embarrassed to let me in their house. But that's, or even their office sometimes. But that's when they call me, they're getting there. They might just need that little extra push. So I had a client last night. She was like, I'm going to send you pictures, but I have to straighten up the house first. And da da da. I always see the space in some sort of fashion before I arrive. If I'm not seeing it, if it's a FaceTime, if it's photos and videos, um, that's what we're here for. We do not ever judge a space and what it looks like. That's what we're here for. We don't care. The messier, the better. We can make a bigger transition. So I tell that to all my clients. A lot of people do care, what it looks like, but that's why we're here. We don't care. We don't judge. So open up your heart and your mind and let a professional organizer help you.
Yeah, okay, so to give all of us, listening here today, some comfort, if I feel like I'm living in a pigsty, okay, and I couldn't possibly let people come over or let you in even to come help me get things organized, you know, how alone am I in that, or how much is my neighbor is exactly the same way? Like, like tell us all, like, is that something like, should I be looking in the mirror or am I just like everybody else?
No, you're just like everybody else. Most people don't have their house, their office, their whatever picture perfect. You watch these TikToks and these Instagrams and all the things, and what you don't see is the other 10 rooms in that space that are just piled with stuff because they cleared the one space they're recording in for that moment. And then, you walk around the rest of the home, the office, or whatever, and it's a disaster. So, and I think a lot of people get caught up in that. They think, oh my gosh, no one can come over because I see all these videos and everyone has a beautiful and da, 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 da. Your house, your office, it is perfect. It is for you. And we are just there to make it sustainable, maintainable, and comfortable, enjoyable environment for you. It doesn't matter where you are in life. We're here to help. And we actually come in a lot of people's bad moments in life or hard times in life. We are trained and educated to handle those types of situations. And, let's take it down a notch. We're not here to judge. We don't care what you have and how much of you have it, but let's go through these things and why are we keeping them? And so it's a process. Yes, you are like your neighbor. Most people are, but it's okay. Do what's right for you, and we can help you get there.
Okay, so the bombshell of the show. Do you mean to tell me that what people are showing on social media might actually be misleading?
100%. Mic drop. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I mean, the internet has totally changed from what it used to be. It's crazy, but don't get caught up in those things and enjoy what you have in life and what you've worked hard for, in whatever space that is in.
Okay, so you are in a position to actually create a lot of media, if you want to, with these before and after photos and everything else. So We have just a few minutes left. So tell everybody all the places that they can find you if they want to connect with you.
Sure. We're like you mentioned, we're on our website, orderinyourcourt.com. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. I'm in the generation where it's kind of half and half. Half of us are really good at social media. The other half are not. I'm in that other half that's not really good at social media. I do have a goal this year of getting better at social media and getting more involved in it. Only because my clients and people that follow us have asked for more content. But again, I focus on what's going on, not what people are worried about and what we're watching. So I am trying to find that fine line of what works for me and, kind of accomplishing my goal. So we're not everywhere yet, but we're definitely on Instagram and Facebook and our website. And you can email me at lauren@orderinyourcourt.com. My cell phone number and our business line is on our website. So that's easy to find, and on Facebook. We're going to try to launch the TikTok thing this year as well. So we'll see how that goes.
For Facebook and Instagram, what do people search to locate you? Do you know what your handle is?
Yes, it's at Order in Your Court on Instagram, and then just Order in Your Court on Facebook.
Okay. Then also, I noticed on your site, if you could touch on this, that you have a little mini toolkit or something for people to use or whatever. Is this like a brief introductory to sort of wrap your head around what they're getting into?
That's more of kind of resources, and that's something else we're going to work on this year. That was asked by clients as well. They're just going to be free or very reasonably priced resources that you can download to your phone or to print if you're a paper person, that gives you action items of what to do around your home and office or in your mind, and how you can organize and get where you want to be. So maybe that's your first step if you're not quite ready to have a professional organizer come into your space.
Okay, I like it. Or a way to maybe get a couple of things set up for where you might be trying to take us all down the road.
Exactly.
Okay, so Lauren Stinnett, this was really enjoyable as always. I think all of us can use a lot more help getting things organized. I doubt you come into too many houses that say, I need you to help me fill up some space, right? It's always about getting what we need structured down. And so I'm surprised it's taken me this long to learn that you have a company like you do. So always a pleasure to talk to you. Lauren Stinnett, Chief Organizing Officer at orderinyourcourt.com. Look her up. You straighten out your life. And to everybody else, thank you for tuning in today. I am Ross Morasso. Until next time.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.